Yeah. Up to yesterday, I discussed here what all topics we have in UI. What all topics we have in UI, and here each topic basic introduction we discussed here. Here in our web UI, we are going to see that list of all topics. Here in our web UI programming, we are going to see that list of all topics are here. HTML 4 and 5, second one CSS 2 and 3, third JavaScript. Here fourth one is jQuery. Here fifth one is here Ajax. Here sixth one is here responsive design. Here seventh one will be Bootstrap. Here eighth one will be lessons as. Here ninth one is project. 10th one is exam. So like this, I'll continue all my topics. Total duration of our content will be next 2 months. Yesterday and day before yesterday, I have completed my demonstrations on each topic basic introduction. Each topic basic introduction, and here we discussed how to implement HTML4. So what is the real usage of HTML4 and CSS3, CSS2, like this. We discussed each topic. That example we understood. Here now, today we'll start directly on first topic of our course, HTML4. Okay. Here basically one line information I'll give you. HTML is a hypertext markup language. It's a hypertext markup language. It mainly markup. Markup means here it is a tag-based programming. Tag-based programming. Here tags are here instruction to the browser. Instruction to browser. Okay. So these tags when generally we'll write it here. Tag name close. We'll write like this. Okay. Any HTML page always starts with doc type HTML. HTML is a root tag. Root tag start and close. Here only we can write it here. Head start and close and body start and close. Head and body we write like this. Okay. Under this head section we generally write style tag and then script tag. Here style tag we use it here for writing CSS code. Script tag we use it here for writing JavaScript code. Here under this body tag we can write it here. One by one we'll learn all HTML tags here. With that HTML tag we'll implement our application. Okay. Here to write this HTML output. Here to write this HTML tags, we will use it here. To write this HTML tags output, we will use it here. Another one. Here we'll use our HTML coding here. Under this HTML, here we are going to see that all HTML tags. These HTML tags generally we'll use it here to create our content of the application. See, to write this HTML content, we will use any one IDE. Java students will use Java IDE, Eclipse, IntelliJ, and NetBeans. Like this, here also will use all IDEs. See, IDE, it's an integrated development environment. It's an integrated development environment. Here integrated development environment to create our application. So those IDEs are here. Here we'll use widely used one, VS Code, Eclipse. Here Eclipse also we can use, NetBeans. Here IntelliJ. VS Code, Eclipse, NetBeans, IntelliJ, here Autumn, brackets, here WebStorm, here PHP Storm. Like this, you can find so many IDEs. We always use one IDE to develop our application. So widely used one and present development is going on under this. So that is here VS Code. Widely used one development for real-time development. Presently we are using Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code we are using here to develop our application. Here we are using here VS Code. So to write our programs in VS Code, we'll go to the Google and search for VS Code. Under this, you can find code.visualstudio.com. Under this, you can find VS Code exe file. Download it. You can find the exe file. Under this exe file, if you double click on it, here if you double click on that VS Code, then it will be after couple of next steps where you want to install C drive or D drive. Like this, it will ask you some next steps. After that, it will be installed in our system. So once it is installed VS Code, then go to the computer start button, then search for VS Code. It will open. VS Code will be opened. After this, you can find file, open folder option. Here, if you download, see, go to the Google. Here, go to the Google, search for VS Code. Here, you can find, search for VS Code. See, you can find code.visualstudio.com. Under this, if you open it, you can see that here you can open that code.visual studio code. If you click on this download option, you can download this Visual Studio Code here like this. This is one downloadable set of file of Visual Studio Code. After downloading it, here you can download this Visual Studio Code here. After this, we'll work out on this here. After opening this folder, then download and just double click on it. It is already installed in my system. If you double click on it, it will ask you some next steps. So by that, it will be installed in your system. Once it is installed, search for VS Code in computer start button, then click OK. So by that, you will open VS Code in our system. After opening this Visual Studio Code, here file, open folder option will be there. Open file and open folder. Here after opening the folder option, just create our own folder for our project development. So I'm creating 6 AM folder for our batch. Select it. Here by that, Visual Studio Code will open in our workspace of 6 AM. Here you can find two options here. One is open folder, another one new file. First I am clicking on this new folder. Here it is HTML4. Okay, HTML4 folder I can open here. Under this, I want to create first program. See, I'm creating here 1.html. 1.html is my first program. Okay, this way it will open that output. Here, computer start button, VS Code, open folder. Here, open folder option will be there. Then select your own folder. Here, select your own folder. Under this, after selecting our own folder, then you can go for here, select your own folder. Then select our folder here, 6 AM folder. Under this, create one subfolder HTML4. Under this, here HTML4. Under this HTML4, you can create one.html program. So one.html, you can run that program like this. Here you can execute this program. Okay, one.html program, you can open it and you can run your program. So this way generally will execute our code. Here in VS Code, so we are going with the Google and we are finding VS Code. After this, we are going with the opening of folder and writing of code under this one.html. Here under this one.html, directly any HTML page should start with doc type HTML. Here HTML start, HTML close. Under this only we can write it here, head start and close and body start and close. Head and body we write it like this. Under this head section generally we'll write it CSS code, JavaScript code, all will write it. Under this body tag we'll write content part of the application. Here under this head we can write it here script tag for writing JavaScript code. Style tag, here style tag we use it here for writing CSS code. Here body tag, under this will write all our HTML content here. Total HTML content we write it here. So this way we can execute our program of HTML. We'll write welcome or any HTML headings, paragraphs, images, buttons, all will write it inside the body. This is our one.html. Here after writing our program, to execute our program, we'll go to the VS Code. Here you can find extensions. Under this you can find live server. Under this live server, here we are going with the VS Code extensions live server. Under this live server, click on install button. Here once it is installed, so here it will be installed in our system. So it will be installed in our system. Here once it is installed in VS Code, here in VS Code, go for one.html. One.html. Under this, you can find open folder option will be there. Open folder. Sorry. Here open with live server option will be there. Here after that, your program will be opened with the live server. See, I'll write it here, doc type, HTML, head, then body, head and body type. Okay, here under this body, I'll write welcome to HTML. I'm writing. Okay, now to execute this program, here you can find extensions. This is extensions. Okay, this is extensions. Under this extension, you can search for live server. This is live server. If you click on install button, it will show you uninstall button for us. Okay, it will be installed in our system. So once it is installed, then right click on this. Here you can find open with live server option will be there. Open with live server. So by this, here our program will be opened with a live server. So advantage of this live server here, whatever changes you are doing in the program, all will be affected here automatically without refreshing the page. All will be affected without refreshing the page, that it is possible by live server. See here, this is live server execution. If you run your program with a live server, open with live server, it will open like this. Okay, it will open like this. Our program will be opened in the live server like this. Otherwise, normally you can go to the location of the file. Here, location of the folder here, document 6 AM, HTML4, 1.html. Just double click on it. This is normally we can open your program with a browser. Two ways you can execute it. Here one is directly open the file with a browser. Another one, open our program with a live server. Difference between these two executions here first execution and second execution. Both ways you will get same type of output here, but if you run your program with a live server, suppose if you are doing any changes, see, welcome to HTML dot save. See, I added dots here. So
Ma'am,
now go to
one question. So how did we get this like 192? That's the IP address, right? So it's dynamically created, or
dynamic.
how do we? Okay,
This is a live server IP address. Live
okay,
server.
okay. Thank you.
So, yes. When you install live server, automatically it will open. It will open that with that IP address only. It will open our file. See here, automatically it will open. Here, whatever changes I'll do with the live server program, all will be affected for live server program. But normally, if executed by browser, you cannot see any changes until you refresh. See, I click on refresh button, then only I can see that dots. Okay, here you can find your program will get output like this. Here you will get output like this. So this is the difference between those two. Here, normally you can execute your program by live server. You can also execute it by our program like this. This way we can execute our program of live server execution and normal execution. Okay, this is the way we can execute our program for our application. Okay, so we are executing our program like this. So in this time we are learning about HTML4. Under this, first, what is HTML? It's a hypertext markup language. It is completely a tag based programming. Tags are here instruction to the browser. After that, we discussed here it's a tag based programming. Every tag, how to write basic information we discussed. After that, how to install live server. So first of all, how to install Visual Studio Code, how to run our program with a VS Code, and how to start our server and how to run our program with a live server. These all we discussed up to now. Up to now, we discussed here all about the application like this. Here, under this program, we are running about the VS Code. Under this only, you can find extension live server installed. So by that, it will be installed in our system. Here, if you run your program by live server, automatically program will get executed. Here, if you run your program normally by browser, it will execute. Difference between live server execution and normal browser execution here. Live server, whatever changes you will do in your program automatically affects in our program. But normal browser execution time, it won't show you any effect of our changes until you refresh. If you click refresh button, then only it will show that change of the program. Okay, this way we can work out with the live server execution and normal browser execution. Here, this way we can execute our program. This is about the live server. Here, this way only we'll run our program. Now, here we are learning about HTML. Under this, here doc type HTML head and body, we'll use it. Under this, here we can write our content for our application. Here with this, we can execute our program. Okay. So now in this HTML4, we'll learn all the list of tags one by one, what we write it inside the body tag. Inside this body tag only, what all the tags we have one by one we'll learn under HTML4 level, under HTML5. HTML4 level of tags we'll learn one by one, and HTML5 level of tags all we'll learn under HTML4, and HTML5 tags we'll learn under this. Okay, here under this, how to write images, buttons, radio button, checkbox, drop down list, all we'll learn under this. Okay, so this way we can execute our program of Here our program of HTML, basic HTML program will run like this. Here the list of all tags what we are going to learn under HTML4 are here headings. First few days will go with the heading tags. First 1 or 2 days. Heading tags are here H1 to H6. H1 to H1, H2, H3. Table tag. We'll learn about the table tag. Here after this UL tag, unordered list. OL tag, ordered list. Here and after this one we'll learn about the anchor tag. Here frame set tag. Frame set. How to use frame set and its display. Here frame tag. Frame set and frame. Next anchor tag, frame set and frame tag. Next we'll learn here only we'll learn about this frame tag and then frame set. Here only you can find it. There is a problem with go to training. Suddenly audio stop. Now it is okay, I think. Here block and inline elements. Here inline elements we'll learn. Here after this we'll learn about the form tag. Method equal to get or post. Here form tag and same way we'll learn about input elements. Input type text, input type button, input type radio, all input elements we'll learn one by one. So this way we'll continue with all our tags information. So this way we'll learn about all the tags. H1 to H6, paragraph tag, heading tags, and H1 here all block and inline elements we'll learn one by one in our content. So in our content, we are going to see that all list of tags all will be like this. Okay. Here, similar way in HTML5 time, we'll learn about the canvas tag, SVG tag, 2D, 3D graphics, how to write it, that is by canvas and SVG, audio tag, video tag. Here, like this, we'll learn about all of them. Okay. Here, we'll learn one by one all the tags of HTML. We'll learn under this HTML. Okay. Next one. Here I'll show you how to work with the H1 to H6 headings. Here, this is a pair tag H1. Here it is heading 1. because of H1 tag, how the output will come? Check it. Here, check the execution of live server. See, here, whatever changes I'm doing here, all automatically affects actually. Here, heading 1. See, it is very big size heading. It will show like this. Here, we have to refresh. This way, we can show our output. Here, we are learning about the H1 tag. H1 will show you very bigger every time audio disconnecting, connecting. Here, font size of 2em. 2em is the font size of H1 tag. If you write H1 tag, that font size is 2em. Here, like this, you can find it here, H1 to H6, all headings. Here, all heading tags you can show like this. H1 to H6, all headings will show you like this. H2, here, H3, H4, H5, similar way, H6. H1 to H6, all headings for our program will show you like this. All H1 to H6, all headings will show you like this. H1 tag, here H1 tag will show you very bigger size heading. Okay, it is repeating. Here, here H1 will show you very bigger size heading here. See, check it. H1 font size of 2em. H2 font size of 1.5 em. So these sizes are already defined in the browser. Whenever we use H2 tag, that font size will be like this. Font size will be 1.5 em. Em is a measurement. 1 em equal to 16 pixels. Here 1 em equal to 16 pixels. Here H1 will show you bigger size heading. H2 smaller. H3 very smaller. H4, H5, H6. See, like this it will show that output. H1 to H6, all different sizes of headings will show you for our application like this. H1, it will be very bigger size heading. H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. All different sizes of headings will show you for our program like this. Here in this time, whenever I use H1 tag, by default H1 tag will show you bigger size heading. That size will be 2em, H2 1.5 em, H3 1.17 em, H4 no size, H5 0.83, H6 0.6. These sizes are already defined in browser. The sizes are already defined in the browser. With this size, it will display output for our application. This way, we can execute our program of heading tags. Today, we learned about how to install Visual Studio Code in our system, how to run our program with a VS Code here, how to install live server, how to run our program with a VS Code, how to write our first program, and all heading tags, how to write it, we discussed till now. In the beginning day, we discussed what is the use of each topic and what is UI. UI, each topic information we discussed. Next, after that, we entered in each topic here. First topic in what is the usage of it, and how to write first program with the first topic. Up to now discussed
Ma'am, you are actually breaking up from last few minutes. Sorry.
yeah.
Ma'am, we are not able to hear
My
you from
network is
last few
okay, but
minutes actually.
audio problem is coming from go to training link.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. I am not talking in last few minutes until I get audio. I'm not talking.
No, what I'm actually
Okay,
saying
so
is like
there is
from
a
the
problem.
last.
Last 10 minutes, we are facing this audio problem. So whenever my audio last, so suddenly audio 10-20 minutes.
Yeah,
Yes.
maybe if you can repeat the last few things, right? Maybe that would be helpful, madam. Maybe we are not able to follow there. Ma'am, are you able to hear me?
Yeah. So this session we faced audio issue. I'll repeat this. I'll repeat the same on the next session, that is on Monday. Monday session I'll repeat the same stuff. Okay. We'll get new link for the Monday class. So we'll continue on the Monday session in the new link. We'll continue on Monday session. Tomorrow Saturday no class. Monday we'll back to the class. Monday onwards we'll continue with the HTML4 and I'll repeat today's session on Monday. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.